军争夺战由韩国群中 KCC 宙斯队对上澳洲伊拉瓦拉鹰队。现在为大家介绍双方球员入场。And now let's meet the team. First, the Australia Illawarra Hawks. 首先介绍澳洲伊拉瓦拉鹰队，领航 number 0 Nick Bosco， 2号 number 2 Jordan Jack， 3号 number 3 Kevin White， 6号 number 6 AJ Abubi， 9号 number 9 Cedric Jackson， 11号 number 11 Daniel Vega， 13号 number 13 David Anderson， 14号 number 14 Brian Conley， 20号 number 20 Marcel Nelson， 21号 number 21 Todd Bradfield， 22号 number 22 Tim Conrad， 41号 number 41 Ahmed Nar。伊拉瓦拉 head coach 主教练 Robert Berry。And Team Korea KCC Egis， 下面介绍韩国全州 KCC 宙斯队，领航 number 0汉中记何孙正，1号金正龙 number 1金金勇，2号宋朝超 number 2宋优法，3号金台峰 number 3陈台峰，5号李正贤 number 5李宗庆，9号崔兴礼 number 9崔登武，12号宋长英 number 10宋长勇，15号 number 15 Brandon Brown， 17号申礼华 number 7辛明浩，23号金明九 number 23 Kim Young Woo， 25号 number 25 Marcus Kim， 17号李炫俊 number 77 윤영준， 主教练 head coach 邱登坤。双方球员将握手示意 forcing to shake hands。It's 20 souvenir， 并交换纪念品。双方球队最后热身 ，final warming up。Seri Mutiara Cup USA， 第一个裁判是 Cross Umpire Mr. 陈伟忠 from Malaysia， 第二个裁判 Second Umpire Mr. 朱威权 from Malaysia。本场比赛技术代表 Technical Commissioner Mr. 郑木胜 from Malaysia。好，这场比赛我们继续看，让我们的澳大利亚伊拉瓦拉鹰队加油的球迷在哪里？我认为 Australia fans。好，韩国天气之类会。
A very warm welcome to the finale of the 2018 Seri Mutiara Cup. We're at the Maba Stadium in the heart of Kuala Lumpur, just a stone's throw from Petaling Street. Earlier on today, we saw the Texas All-Stars blow away past Partizan 84-58 in the bronze medal match. Now we have got the final where KCC Egis take on the tough nuts of Illawarra Hawks from Australia. Our match officials today are Michelle Russi, who's the referee from United States, Oh Xiong Chan from Malaysia, and Wei Chen Shu, also from Malaysia, are the court officials. And joining me in the commentary box for this match, KCC Egis versus Illawarra Hawks. Mislan, tell me your thoughts coming into this match. The Aussies clear favourites?
In the paper, the Australian is definitely the favorite. They are playing a much better, higher level leader NBL compared to the KCC Egis. But I like how both teams are actually very experienced team in terms of basketball years. So we want to have a very good game in the final. They haven't met in the regular, in the grouping round, the round robin, because they are the champion for each group. So this is their first match in this tournament.
How will Illawarra cope with Ha Seung-jin, the giant 7-foot former NBA draftee? He'll be starting at centre, going for the first tip-off, and he is head and shoulders above everybody else on the floor.
Australia been playing with a very physical game, and then that's when Ha Seung-jin is going to deny the attempt, especially inside the paint. So it's going to be interesting for the Australian team, how they're going to counter the defensive presence of Ha Seung-jin.
For Australia, two Americans in the starting five, Jordan Jett and Brian Conklin, who's an aggressive power forward. So the final about to get underway. Egis in the white, get the first possession against the Australians from Illawarra. Both teams won their groups and comfortably won through in their semi-finals. So this is truly the best of the best. Kyo Chang running the play. Taepong outside, time and space for Brandon Brown to shoot. A nice opener for three for Brown.
A red three-pointer from Brandon Brown, but he was left wide open there. Hesitated a little bit, but good shot from Brandon Brown.
Conklin. Inside Ogilvie. Also left inside, just inside the arc, but couldn't contribute.
Ogilvie wide open, not able to convert that two-point shot. Still Illawarra Hawks possession with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. A new shot clock for Illawarra Hawks.
The inbound from Blanchfield. Jackson outside to Jett. Closely picked up Jett. Jett into Conklin, they've run out of time. Good hustle, good defensive work.
Yeah, with that new shot clock, only 40 seconds left, Illawarra Hawks most probably didn't realize that too many passes on the last possession.
Song Kyo Chang got Brown available. 4 to the 3. Blanchfield strong, turnaround jumper, doesn't hit from Song. Ogilvie with the rebound, Jackson on the play. Outside, Conklin, thought of the 3, closed down by Brown. No movement inside. Jackson makes the run, but again, excellent defensive work from Egis. And they're on the fast break. Brown, the little layup will be touched home. And that's a nice fast break converted by Kyo Chang.
I think this is the first time Illawarra Hawks struggling to score. And then a red transition offense by the KCC Egis.
Rejection from Seung-jin.
3 straight possession for Illawarra Hawks. I think 4 possession actually unable to convert.
Brown faced by Conklin. Kyo Chang throws it away, although Blanchfield deserves credit. And Conklin Down low, still can't convert. 0 for 5 shooting. And the outside shot for 3 is good from Lee Jung-hyun.
Lee Jung-hyun is the national player for the Korea Basketball League. He was one of the members that get bronze medal in last year FIBA Asia.
At last the points from Ogilvie. He wants the foul as well, doesn't get it. But the Aussies on the board through AJ Ogilvie. 8-2 though. 2:30 played in this final. Again, the outside shot doesn't drop, no foul. Jackson careful to keep his hands down. But the outside shooting good from Jung-hyun. Conklin draws the foul from Brown. He'll go to... Well, it's a sideline ball. First foul against Brown.
A little bit mismatch, I guess. Brandon Brown wasn't ready to defend.
To their Jets and Jackson. Oh, lovely behind the back from Jackson. Ogilvie free. Just inside the foul line. 2 points for Ogilvie. Ogilvie's contributed all the points so far for Illawarra Hawks. Jung-hyun, be calm. Offensive foul from Ha Seung-jin. Ogilvie doing a good job before Ha pushed him away.
Ha Seung-jin needs to be careful not to get intimidated by the Australian defense. AJ actually able to get under his skin there. Sorry, it was Todd Blanchfield there.
Jackson outside, it's off the body of Kyo Chang. But they are struggling offensively to find their players. Illawarra.
Yes, Cedric Gresham, former NBA player for the Cavs. Straight to Song body. Song wasn't even realized the pass.
Conklin outside, outruns interference. Blanchfield. Conklin with the putback. Brilliantly done, very aggressive from Brian Conklin. And the press is on, which worked effectively against Partizan in the semi-final. The Koreans a little bit more canny. Taepong round the outside. Taepong then throws it away. And that will be possession gifted away.
Oh, bad pass there from Chu Taepong, the Korean-American player. Way off for Ha Seung-jin to catch the ball. He wasn't even realized that the pass was from Taepong.
Blanchfield. Oh, it worked so hard to get into position. Ogilvie found him. Taepong and Brown. Brown, good pace on the pass. Taepong starts again. 10 seconds on the shot clock. To the baseline, nowhere to go. Real pressure, the shot's got to come in, and it does. Off the rim, and Ogilvie is ahead there of Seung-jin. Ogilvie from outside.
I think Illawarra Hawks not able to play their full court defense and then the double team, so they have to make their shots from all the half court offense. They're still waiting for the defense to work here, and then a very smart play so far by the KCC Egis, not turning the ball.
Clear shot for Kyo Chang, that doesn't drop. Shooting 3 for 7 so far, Egis. Blanchfield. Now it's White 2. The foul is being called against Song Kyo Chang. But it could have gone either way because there was definite interference from Conklin.
Todd able to sell that fall to the referee. A little bit of act there.
Jet. Conklin outside shot. Not quite dropping, and those massive hands of Seung-jin grasp the basketball in one palm. Taepong onto Brown. Faced by Conklin. Drives to the baseline, in and out. Conklin picks up the board. Oh, Jet, lovely movement inside.
What a move by Jet here, the American player, able to split the defense. An easy 2-point shot for him.
Well, an 8-0 run for the Korean KCC Egis has been equalled by an 8-0 run for Illawarra, plus Anderson's too. 10 points in a row for the Hawks.
Finally, Illawarra Hawks defense has able to contain the KCC Egis offense, and then they're now taking the lead with 2 points.
And they're out-rebounding Egis as well, 8-6. 4 turnovers from the Koreans. Outside shot, that's in and out for Chon Tae-pong. It's just not going right for Egis. Underneath was Conklin. Kyo Chang did really well to rescue that. Brendan Brown on transition. Outside shot, Jung Hyun. In and out, Blanchfield takes control.
KCC Egis, they need to make their open shots if they want to win this game.
Anderson steps inside the arc for 2. 4 points for Anderson, 12 in a row for Illawarra. Brown just gets ahead of Blanchfield. And travelling called against Brandon Brown.
Brandon Brown again, let's see whether we can see from the angle. Oh, I think Brandon Brown jumped first and then the ball is still in position. He wanted for the fall. A good call by the referee, acknowledging that it was a double dribble.
Well, no sign of a timeout yet from the Koreans. 12 points in a row normally prompts something. Off the glass, 14 in a row now for Blanchfield. His first 2 points. Quite some turnaround. Very physical between Anderson and Seung Jin in the paint. And then that's thrown away. Seung Jin wasn't looking, and that's twice he's been involved in a miscommunication, Seung Jin.
Another unforced turnover by the KCC Egis. They really need to be focused now as Brandon Brown is being subbed out with Marcus Chick. 2012 NBA drafted by the Chicago Bulls, play for the Bulls and also the Nets.
Emmett Nah also steps in for Illawarra for Jodair Jet. And a double change because Yong Song is going to step in a point guard for Chon Tae-pong. Long shift for those starting fives. Anderson, Blanchfield. Anderson outside for 3. Drained by the 38-year-old.
Yeah, the veteran player, the national player for Australia. Anderson showing his experience now.
17 points in a row. Teague looks outside. And the drought still isn't ended. Anderson finds Nah in transition. White. Anderson outside, can drive. Little layup is short. He's beaten to the punch. A rare offensive calamity for the Aussies. Jung Hyun. Anderson 7 points. Shooting 100%. At last the drought is over. The layup for Seong Kyo Chang.
Seong Kyo Chang not giving up, not backing out from the defense of the Illawarra Hawks. Good shot there, good challenge.
Nah, inside to a little jumper from outside from Tim Conrad. A 9-point lead into the final minute of this first quarter. Oh, the layup is missed from Ha Seung Jin. It's not been the Koreans' quarter. Conrad outside shooting for 3. And that is a 5-point deficit turned over. And a timeout at last is called by the Koreans.
What a wasted chance from Ha Seung-jin, unable to convert it wide open under basket as Illawarra Hawks punishing them. You see top scorer for the Korean team, Song Kyu-chang with 4 points, Lee Jung-hyuk with 3 points, and Brendan Brown able to get 3 points.
Well, they went 6 minutes without scoring a point because within 3 minutes they were 8-0 up. It looked all really good for them. What's gone wrong? Is it the case Illawarra have turned up the pace, or have Korean Egis just gone off colour?
There's two factors here. The first is the defense of Illawarra Hawks finally succeed. They were able to force a few turnovers, and then KCC Egis just unable to convert all those open shots and easy shots.
Brian Conklin, 5 rebounds. Big, strong, aggressive American under the boards, dominating that battle. Helped by Brian Anderson, by David Anderson. (12-7) the rebounds in favour of Illawarra. 10-22. Teague starts the play. Jung Hyun double-teamed mid-court. Really is no room for Egis to play. Outside shot has got to be good. It's not. And first to react is Emmett Na. Anderson holds off Teague's challenge. White outside, thinks of the 3. Final 7 seconds of the quarter. Na, Anderson, got to get the shooter away, which he does. And it drops. It's the perfect ending for Illawarra Hawks. They took their time to get the shot away. Anderson converts. It's a 14-point lead at the quarter.
Yeah, the experience of this Illawarra Hawks is showing. Despite they're not able to convert the first 5 shots, they still calm down, they stick to their plan, especially on the defensive end, and able to use that energy to get all those 13 or 15 run.
Let's have a look at the first quarter highlights, and Brandon Brown got things off to a lovely start for Egis, and for 2 minutes it was all Egis, but then suddenly Illawarra got their move going. Ogilvie got around the big man Ha Seung-jin, and that just seemed to spark the offense for Illawarra.
Yeah, this is the first basket for Illawarra Hawks, and just from there you see Cedric Johnson to Ogilvie there for that easy 2-pointer. He was missing his shot there and finally able to get that second attempt.
AJ Ogilvie with 4 points. David Anderson leads the way with 9 points in the first. There was a 17 points in a row for the Aussies before at last they were able to score through Song Kyu-chang, who leads the scoring for the Koreans with 2. But Jets 2 points, and at the very end of the first quarter, a 2-pointer for David Anderson after a lot of patience means that Anderson's 9 points, 5 for Conrad, plus those 4 for AJ Ogilvie. I mean, it's a comfortable 14-point lead for Illawarra. So you're on the Illawarra, you're on the Egis coaching bench. What do you change?
Focus, don't force your shot, and then don't get intimidated by the Illawarra Hawks defense. They're able to bring the ball to the half court. They much better than. However, all these turnovers are actually half of them unforced turnover, meaning their mistakes are on their own, so they need to focus offensively.
6 turnovers it is indeed for Egis in 1 quarter. That is a very damaging stat. Puts you en route to around about 25, which is 15 too many. Na from deep. Nice high jumper for 2 for Emmett Na. Brown remembers to take the ball with him, runs at Ogilvie. An offensive foul by Brandon Brown.
Frustrated Brandon Brown, he thought he got that lane nicely for him. But good defense there by AJ Ogilvie. planting his foot, not giving any space for Brandon Brown to take the shot.
Second personal for Brown. Ogilvie, central. He's coming into his own in the medal matches, is AJ Ogilvie. Outside is White. Conrad, turn away jumper for 2. Seven points for Conrad, and the full court press is on. Broken by Teague. Nah working terrifically hard. Teague found a little bit of space, in and out. Brown drives into the net, and this time draws the foul off Ogilvie, and will go to the line for the extra point.
Finally, some good stuff for KCC Egis, as Brandon Brown able to get that offensive rebound and also able to convert the 2-point as he's going to the free throw line for a potential 3-point play.
Had a couple of stitches in a cut lip as Brandon Brown. Three-point play for him, 15 points the deficit. White, again, Ogilvie central. The 2'11" centre involved, takes the return but can't convert the 2 again. He's asking for the foul. Teague round the back, into Brown. 2 for Brandon Brown, 2 for Egis, who have got their mojo back.
Yeah, good job by Marcus Teague pushing the ball and able to drop the assist to Brandon Brown. As we have another offensive foul.
Ogilvie, I think. So Ogilvie versus Brown is turning to be a really important contest as we look at the pace of Teague. Dish inside, and that draws the foul. So back-to-back fouls on AJ Ogilvie. Again, the full court press causes such pressure that the ball is thrown away. Ogilvie got a touch.
Almost a turnover, I think. Illawarra Hawks full court press. Most probably KCC Egis is the only team that are able to break, and then most of the turnovers not from the full court press, it's actually from themselves. Just the miscommunication and bad passes from KCC Egis players.
Inbound from Teague. And possession thrown away. Did seem to be a little touch on the leg there for Kim Min-gu. Time and space. Kevin White measures the 3.
That's the issue with KCC Egis. Defensively, they are a little bit too slow on setup their defense, so Illawarra Hawks able to take advantage on that time.
Brown versus Ogilvie again. Brown through Ogilvie, picks up the second ball, outside shot, in and out. Brown, big aggression. Ogilvie comes up with the ball. Nah. Outside shooting for White. And the touch in from Ogilvie, who is proving central to this game. Timeout from Egis. How to cope with AJ Ogilvie.
Point differences as Illawarra Hawks pounding the KCC Egis. That's what the bench of KCC Egis is talking about right now.
Round applause for Texas ladies. Ladies and gentlemen,
So, as you say, an 18-point deficit for Egis.
Only 30% field goals made by Egis, 6 out of 20 and 8 turnovers. So not a good quarter so far for KCC Egis.
And being out-rebounded as well, 15-11. So in all aspects of the game, it's the Blacks of Illawarra who are doing well. And look at that double teaming. As the ball was coming in, 2 players were attacking the ball. Xiang Jin just didn't know what hit him. Ogilvy again, he is the star man. He's taken responsibility for dominating the paint. Conrad outside to Na. Jet outside for 3. Once it doesn't drop and Xiang Jin can pick up the rebound. Turnover number 9 isn't punished, or maybe it is not, with the potential putback for Jet. And Ogilvy onto 8 points.
What a sequence of play by the Illawarra Hawks, able to get the second chance and then finding the space.
Another turnover from Jet, this time forced. Kim Min-gu left on his knees.
This is the full court pressure, the suffocating defense of the Illawarra Hawks finally showing signs to KCC Egis.
Not making it incredibly difficult, just get up their own. Here's the Jet. Defensive work. And what we've had, another turnover. This is not a little layup put back in by Jet, supported by 2 players as well. Wonderful.
KCC Egis, we know they are slow on transition, that's why they cannot make a lot of turnovers. See, this one turnover, 3 Illawarra Hawks play as Brandon Brown tried to defend the attempt.
And then Xiang Jin loses possession again. Look at the pace and the power. Jet outside. The 3 in and out from Daniel Grida. Conrad for 3. That's good. 42-15. It is a blowout at the moment.
That's the 4th 3-pointer made by the Australian team. Not only that, they can play very good solid defense, as another turnover, another steal and another easy basket for Illawarra Hawks. They also can shoot the lights out from the 3-point lane.
Emmett Nar with 2, another full court press is on. Teague, he decides the way to beat it is to go end to end, and Brandon Brown with a rare highlight dunk for the Egis. Double digits for Brown. Ogilvy joined him in double figures.
KCC Egis need to be careful not to make another turnover, an opportunity for Illawarra Hawks.
Forced to play at Illawarra's pace. Ogilvy got the rejection, but I think there's a defensive foul called. And look at that, a quick turnaround. It was a high velocity pace from Jet, from Na and from Grida. And all 3 of those, well, no, Jet's going to stay on, but 2 of the pressing players are just being given time off.
Yeah, AG Ogilvy is still in the court. He has been a very positive impact on both ends for Illawarra Hawks. His defensive presence, even though he fought Brandon Brown as Brandon take these 2 free throws, AJ is such an outstanding player, a former Australian national player.
2 for 2 for Brown. But you look at the scoreboard, 19-46, a 27-point lead. Just over midway through the second quarter. Conklin. At last, Xiang Jin wins a battle. Brown. The foul there will go against Cedric Jackson.
Oh, we have a clash on the court right now between
Teague and Ogilvy. They had something down at the other end of the court.
Let's see whether the referees is going to give or penalize them, and yeah, it's a technical foul.
Okay. White, 25, and black, 6.
So it's gone against Egis, Marcus Teague and AJ Ogilvie. Technical fouls.
So what happened when both team, each player from both teams are actually going to give a technical foul, so they cancel each other, so there's no free throws being handed out.
But Ogilvie's now on 3 personals. Teague from outside, steps inside, looks into the corner. That doesn't drop, and Anderson can take over the big man role. Oh, Jet. Fabulous play. Jackson fouled in the act of shooting. And that'll be a foul against Seung Jin, his second.
It's either Jet or Jackson going to do the damage for the Illawarra Hawks. So they are such a talented and experienced team. Each single player of this Illawarra Hawks can do the damage. So there's no like one single player, as for example the KCC Egis, they're relying a lot on Brandon Brown to do the scoring, the damage. And when the 3-pointer for KCC Egis not falling as they are right now, it's going to be a problem.
0 for 2 for Jackson. Teague. Noticeable how quickly they got the ball back in play there, Egis. Brown, faced by Conklin this time. No way through, double dribble by Brandon Brown. I want a foul, he's not getting it.
That's the correct call, as you can see. Actually, the drop step and then he stopped. He wanted to create space, and then another dribble. That's twice for Brandon Brown. The mistake, the unforced turnover, piling up with a total 13 turnover for KCC Egis.
It's huge. Anderson, turnaround jumper. Brown with the take. Teague created space. Seung Jin. Now Seung Jin's hurt himself. And knee problems for Seung Jin. Teague goes round the outside, but we have got a problem. There was an instant look of anguish as the knee gave way on Ya Seung Jin.
Yeah, as you can see, it's always not a good sign. I think her knees was hit by AJ knee, so it's always not a good sign when a big man goes down, especially on the knee part.
You hope it's an impact. If it's an impact, that's bruising. That's allowed. We've got 3 minutes just over remaining in the second quarter.
Only 11 points scored by the Korea KCC Egis in this second quarter with 3 minutes left in the first half. Korea really need to focus, as Illawarra Hawks, they've been consistent on both ends, except in the first few minutes where they're struggling Other than that, Illawarra Hawks has been playing outstanding basketball so far.
Well, we're back in the game. That was interesting as Nelson takes possession. Two Egis players weren't looking at the ball as the play started. It's a difference in mentality as well as attitude, and it's showing on the score. David Anderson from outside can't convert and can't keep it in.
I think that's the attitude of KCC Egis. Even in the previous game in the semi-final, I've been quite hard on them on the defensive transition. They were slow and very late to get back on the defense. I do understand that they were like saving the energy towards the end of the game, but against a good team like Hawks, you cannot do that.
Teague on the outside. The jumper off the rim. Brown picks up the bounce and has the ball knocked out of his hands by Marshall Nelson. Conklin, easy layup for Cedric Jackson.
See, another 4-on-3 transition offense by the Illawarra Hawks as back-to-back turnover by the KCC Egis as Marquis Street complaining about the contact and the fall.
15-4 the turnovers. 15-4 in one half. Jackson, low down. Conklin first to react. Will draw the foul on Kyo Chang, his second personal foul.
Jackson here, I think it was fouled. That's why it was an air ball. Brian was there to pick up the second chance. Without Hasim Jin on the floor, it's very hard for KCC Egis to defend the big size of the Australian player. Even though Brian is actually American.
Yes. This for back-to-back points, 4 in total. The 198 centre. Oh, actually, he's a power forward more than anything. Press is on. The moving outside. They've got to be so accurate in their passing. Foul against Anderson. Blocking off the attempted run to the baseline by Ko Chang.
A good drive here by Song, able to draw the contact as Illawarra Hawks is over the team foul limit, so Song is going to the free throw line.
There's a lot of moisture on the court, particularly centre court. A few players have lost their footing, and now Conklin wants a little bit of moisture cleared out as well. Court has played pretty well. It's been under heavy use 4 games a day. On Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday in the group stages. 4 games yesterday in the placings matches. Another 2 today. To the line is Kyo Chang. %, from the foul line, 5 of 5. Conklin, jet on the move. Anderson, a little shimmy and off the glass for 2.
Easy for Anderson to score that one.
11 points for David Anderson, always contributes. Teague, nowhere to go. Outside shot from Teague. In and out. Jackson, an easy take. 1 minute to play. Conklin can't handle a difficult ball dropping over his shoulder.
Yeah, a turnover for Illawarra Hawks, a red turnover there. A good defense by Tepun, putting the pressure so that Brian Conklin unable to catch the ball properly.
Outside shot. In and out. Conklin gets a touch. Jackson completes it. Mislan Al-Azam with the analysis of this fine performance from Illawarra Hawks. 52 first half points as we have 40 seconds still to play. Conklin outside to Anderson. Eventually takes the ball with him. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get a shot away from downtown, Jet. Brown collects. Taepong didn't want the responsibility, leaves it for Teague.
KCC Egis 2 out of 12 from the three-point line.
Struggling all over. End of a quarter that has been messy for KCC Egis from Korea. It's just been more of the same from the Illawarra Hawks. They've continued to add on to their lead. It's 29 points the lead at the half. It's Illawarra Hawks 52, KCC Egis 23. Very warm welcome back to the Maba Indoor Arena in Kuala Lumpur. It's the venue for the final of the Seri Mutiara Cup. Half-time, it's a bit of a blowout, got to be telling you, because it's a 52 points for Illawarra Hawks against the KCC Egis. It's a 29-point lead. It started so well for Egis in white as well, Mr. Almazan. 8 points to nothing on the boards, and then AJ Ogilvy got involved, and it all went wrong from there.
Yeah, we were expecting a different game for today's final, as Illawarra Hawks throughout the whole tournament has been dominating, crushing their opponent so far. As this is the story of the game for Illawarra Hawks. They're going to take the lead and the control of the game from the start until the end. Especially in the first half, we know that it's done, it's over. Except in the first one, we thought that it's going to be different. However, Illawarra Hawks just being so consistent despite the effort shown by the KCC Egis. And then here you can see Jack with that fancy move, able to split the defense of Tipun. And then here comes KCC Egis, Brandon Brown. This is one of the very few good positive impacts so far by the KCC Egis. Not so much after this, as they've been piling turnovers upon turnovers. And then Illawarra Hawks just keep going to shoot. A very good performance so far for the Illawarra Hawks. 52% field goal from the 2-point throughout the whole game.
What these highlights aren't showing is the full court press from Illawarra, which has forced a lot of those turnovers. You mentioned 16 turnovers from Egis. Probably 10 of them have been enforced turnovers.
Yeah, and then 8 steals actually able to get by the Illawarra Hawks. There's most probably a 16th point from that alone. And then this is the highlight of the Brandon Brown. Marcus Stick not able to get his shot, not shooting well for Marcus Stick. Only 2.1 out of 7 for Marcus Stick.
Some fancy work as well, under the basket and from outside. Conklin shooting 1 of 4 from 11 attempts from outside. It's just all over top standard play from the Aussie side. Teague's been able to hook in a couple of points. These highlights aren't really indicative of the pressure that we've seen from Illawarra. Look at they have a 4-on-3 break there, an easy layup, good pass, good awareness. Conklin into Jackson. It's just been so impressive from Illawarra.
And just for the audience knowledge, these Illawarra Hawks, they are not the best team in the NBL. They're just like the mid-tier, but they are preparing for the new season of NBL. I think it's going to start next week. So Illawarra Hawks most probably going to give a lot of time in the new season of the NBL. Here you see the statistic of the first half. 6 out of 17, very low percentage. And then the turnover, 16 turnover by the KCC Egis, and only 5. Such a one-sided game between these two teams.
Yeah, the percentage shooting 28%, field goal shooting from the Egis, 52% in all from the Hawks. 8 steals to 1. It has been very, very one-dimensional, which has been a shame, because I was expecting this one to be a lot tighter, because both dominated their particular groups. Individuals, Brandon Brown with 12 leading the way for Egis, but it's a team effort. 3 players in double digits already, plus the support from just about every other player. Sis Jodair Jet handed out 4, Jackson 2, and Emmett Nar 2. The full court press isn't represented in assists, but the full court press has been such an effective weapon for Illawarra. Conklin with 7, AJ Ogilvie with 6 rebounds. Brandon Brown is almost taking them on his own, and with Har Seung Jin out of the game, probably injured, Brown's going to have an awful lot more work to do in the second 20 minutes.
Brown also has the most turnover with 5. He got twice already got caught up with a double dribble. Brandon Brown has to do all the heavy lifting for the KCC Egis. That's why he got a lot of the turnover, because the pressure defense by the Illawarra Hawks. We were expecting much different game, different story between the KCC Egis and Illawarra Hawks, but no, it's just the level of the Illawarra Hawks, the Australian player and Australian basketball. We've been talking about this throughout the whole tournament, how Australian basketball has been the pedigree of the basketball outside of the European basketball and the NBA especially.
You saw the period scores there, 24-10, 28-13. Brandon Brown for the Egis, he's probably been their star man, their only man, 12 points. He's shooting 3 for 6 from 2-point range, 100% from outside, but that was the very first shot of the game. It was rare for him to take a 3-pointer, but there's so much weight on his shoulders, because the local Korean boys don't seem to want to take the responsibility. By comparison, the scorers all over the court for the Illawarra Hawks. They're spreading the work around. We're going to focus on David Anderson, because he's the top scorer with 11 points, but Ogilvie's got 10. Conrad's got 10. We've had contributions from Jet, contributions from all bar 2 of the players. Nick Postoglou hasn't even been on the court, so it's been an impressive all-round team performance from the Aussies.
Yeah, especially you see the assists for the Australian team, 12 assists, means showing that they play a very good team basketball. Not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side, the teamwork of them defensively, putting the pressure for the KCC, especially on Brandon Brown, forcing him to make a lot of turnover. 5 turnover alone from Brandon Brown.
Just getting ready for the second stanza. The big number 0 on the very left, that's Young Jin Ha. Haas Young Jim. He injured himself, jarred the knee, and I hope it's only a jar and nothing a lot more serious than that for him, but I don't think he'll be taking another part in the game. He's got his jacket on and looks resigned. Big ice pack on that right knee as well. So not only are they trailing by 29, but they're short-handed as well. We go through Ogilvy, 10 points, 5 for 7 shooting from in the paint. Is there any way back here for the Egis?
It's very hard for them, especially downing almost 20 points here.
Almost 30 points. 29 points down. Five on the court, as it's the Egis who get us going. Brown. Maybe a couple of big three-pointers early on, but look at that. Pressure on the ball carrier. Outside shot, in and out. Brown loses out to Conklin. Conklin on his toes, left unguarded, right under the basket. Doesn't convert, much to his chagrin, but not great defensive work. It's come off Ogilvy. The effort from Jin Yong to take the ball to the bucket.
I'm not sure whether Jin Young is ready or not. It's looking not very confident taking the shot. He's supposed to go strong, taking the contact.
Once again, not quite ready. Jin Yong, he didn't play any floor time in the first half. And looks a little bit cold coming out. Blanchfield, by contrast, Illawarra look really ready for the season as Nar drives the lane, goes past Teague, increases the lead to 31 points, a game high. Brown, double team, throws the ball away. Nar on transition, draws the foul, acknowledged by Seong Ko Chang, his third personal.
And also the third in a row, 3 in a row turnover by the KCC Egis, as they are scoreless so far in this third quarter.
And Brandon Brown has exacerbated that cut on his lip. Not happy with the physicality, not happy that he's not getting the calls. Generally not happy.
Yeah, that's Australian basketball. They play very aggressive, very physical basketball. Has been throughout their culture. That's how they define their Australian mentality. They are tough and they are physical. And the basketball is actually at the world level.
Certainly is. Conklin. Is that going to be foul number 4? I think it is foul number 4 against Seong Ko Chang. He's in trouble. Difficult game for him. 6 points, 1 turnover, as well as the 4 fouls. Conklin. A rare miscommunication, but they still come away with the ball. Ogilvy lays up, and Brown is blocked off by Conklin. This time Brown will get the foul on the call. Conklin acknowledges.
Brown here able to get that rebounds as Brian overly aggressive, trying to get an offensive rebound.
Full court press is on once again. This time it's broken. And then Illawarra quickly back into defensive positions. That's the key as well. The press is on, but the fitness levels for the Australian side very high. And Jung Hyun in and out. Conklin grabs the board. 54-23. Still scoreless in this second half for Egis as Blanchfield drops in 2.
An easy shot for Illawarra Hawks. Just a little bit of space for him to able to knock that 2-point jumper.
Kyu Chang, that's a 3 that'll make him feel a bit better. And there's quite a few Korean fans in the crowd as well. They'll be feeling a little bit better as well, perhaps. Conklin drives for 2. Support from Ogilvy.
Another easy shot by Conklin, that pick and roll. Just simple but effective play.
Conklin right in the face. Well done by Brandon Brown. Kept the ball alive, threw it into AJ Ogilvy.
The 3-point shot, it was blocked, hence the air ball. So good defensive effort by Brian Conklin. But then Brandon Brown able to save that. So 11 seconds on the shot clock for Illawarra Hawks. I mean, KCC Egis, my bad.
Teague with the inbound. A whistle lost.
Oh, I think it was Brandon Brown.
It is.
The tape of Brandon Brown leaves, I guess.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Driving the lane. And there'll be an arm there from Ogilvy. So Ogilvy now moves into a little bit of foul trouble. That's his 4th personal. And he's such a team leader.
Song Chang-Yung trying to find a space. Wanted to fake Ogilvy there, but then AJ Ogilvy stay on the ground, but still able to get that contact, that fall.
4 for him. And going to the line is Song. Four fouls, 2 turnovers, 10 points, but leadership from AJ Ogilvy. White outside for 3. Always nothing but net.
Illawarra Hawks play very simple and smart basketball. When they don't play high and low basketball, they're going to create a space outside for the shooters.
Brown, uncontested, his second 3. A rare lack of intensity there from Illawarra. Maybe they think the job is done. With a 31-point lead. Anderson, Blanchfield for 3. Oh, yes. It's raining 3s. 7 for Blanchfield. And another 3, 4 in a row.
Finally, it draws the 3-pointer for Song Kyu Chang. His second 3-pointer in this game.
Anderson faked a 3. Players having a little bit of fun now. Anderson outside. For once it doesn't drop, and Blanchfield, though, he gets the put back in. So they're shooting hot from outside. They're dominating under the boards. And their lead is up to 33. Teague. Little foul pushing into the corner for Lee Jung-hyun. His first. And the 13th foul for Korea KCC Egis.
Illawarra Hawks.
Nah. He's one of the unsung heroes now and draws a foul as well as he tried to put it back over his shoulder.
What a move here by Ahmed Na, able to create a space just by looking at the defender. Ahmed Na is actually undrafted in this year NBA draft of former national junior for the Australian team. Only 24 years old.
Teague steps out. No. Makes it 7 points with this to come from the line. Brown in the wars again. Not enjoying his time out there today. Brown through traffic, but can't convert. And now then, Brandon Brown. That has been coming. Brown and Anderson squaring up to each other. Brandon Brown's frustration has been building. And when the slam dunk didn't drop, he was looking to have a pop at somebody. That may well be.
Yeah, Brandon Brown just taking care of his teammate. It's actually started from the fall here. Brandon Brown frustrated with the layup here, the fall, and then Brandon Brown knocking from behind. And then he thought that Lee Jung-hyun knocked his head from behind, but it was Brandon Brown with that chip shot. So I'm not sure whether the referee saw that chip shot from Brandon Brown, as we clearly can see from that instant replay.
That's just frustration for Brown. It's been building. It's been physical. He's had a split lip. He's not been dominating in the paint.
Yeah, at first I thought Brandon Brown was just trying to take care of Lee Jung-hyun when he fall. But what frustrated Anderson, it was the hit from the back to his head. So I think the referee is discussing if only they have the instant replay.
Michelle Russi, Xiong Chan and Chen Chu in deep discussion. So let's see what the main referee, Michelle Russi from the United States, is deciding. So she's coming to the bench now.
White 15 regular foul. Okay. We're going to shoot
So Brandon Brown get 2 fouls, 1 for a regular foul and then the unsportsmanlike foul, and also Anderson with the unsportsmanlike foul. The reason why Anderson got that, because he was about to box. Yeah, he opened up his boxing stand, and then Anderson picked up his first personal foul, whereas Brandon Brown with his 3rd personal foul. Brandon Brown 6 turnovers, 15 points. He's still in this game.
Well, he's got to be, because there's not much else offensively for Egis. And a timeout has been called amidst all the confusion. And it's being called by the Egis.
Actually, it's a
technical. No, timeout.
Yeah, it's a timeout.
Brown thinks he's being called a technical for some reason. Not a happy bear, Brandon Brown.
It's a double foul. Previously, I'm not sure how the referee is going to decide this, because whether Illawarra Hawks is going to have free throws or not, because KCC Egis is already over the foul limit. Before that, they have 3 team fouls. Now on our scoreboard, it shows 5 fouls for KCC Egis as a team.
The official score table shows 4 fouls. The official scoreboard shows 5.
Yeah, that's because of
The technicals.
I don't think it was a technical, it was just a double foul. Maybe it's a technical. The sign shows actually a double foul. When the referee raised the both hands up.
Would have been a good fight, Brandon Brown versus David Anderson.
We're here for basketball game. So Illawarra Hawks is going to take 2 free throws because KCC Egis is already over the foul limit with that 2 fouls from Brandon Brown.
So a long break. That'll just allow tempers to cool down a little bit. And Brown will take a sit down.
Yeah, it was an ejection to both players as Brandon Brown got ejected, and also Anderson ejected from the game as we cannot see both players on the bench, so they are out of the game.
Well, Conrad's taken his first throw. Or was it a premature? It's all confusing out there.
The players confused, we are confused. They will.
Number 22, Team Conrad.
He's got the 1 extra shot anyway, Conrad. Let's get on with the basketball. 4:30 to play. We've still got another quarter to play after this. And Egis. Oh, Conklin just showing the desire that we've seen from Illawarra all week.
Yeah, Illawarra Hawks very focused on the game. And here Brian Woggy running to block that shot. Such a tremendous focus on the defensive end by the Illawarra Hawks as a team.
Long range effort. Ma. Amidst that little bit of mayhem, Illawarra continuing to play good hoops. Blanchfield down low. Conrad out wide. Nas movement excellent. And Conklin aggressive to pick up the board and the 2.
Conklin with an offensive move. Without Brandon Brown in the game so far, there's no player that able to stop Brian Conklin to dominate underneath the basket.
Outside shot, Conklin picks up another board. 10 rebounds now for Conklin. He's also on 8 points, chasing a double-double, which he's got with a slam dunk.
Brian Conklin showing his hop here, able to get a miss and an easy putback for Brian Conklin.
10 points, 10 rebounds. Long range shot, they need a lot of them to drop very quickly. Trying our best to keep the pretense that this is still a ball game alive. It's not really. This was won in the second quarter.
And especially when Brian Brown ejected from the game, is totally over for KCC Egis. There's no player for them beside Brandon Brown. Ha Soon Jing also, I don't think he's coming back in the game due to the injury. And Marcus Teague and also Tepun not playing to their best. Marcus Teague with only 2 points, 1 out of 7 from the field goal for Marcus Teague.
Teague. A little hand in there from Nick Pozoglu, who's just stepped onto the floor for the first time. That's 4 team fouls against Illawarra. And the first personal foul against Pozoglu. Teague, well, Marcus Teague has had a barren time. Just 2 points, and he's the man you expect to step up. Back-to-back free throws to take him on to 4. Jet, he's a lovely player, isn't he? He's a big, wide, solid fella, but fast as they come. 8 points for Jordan Jet. Teague. And the layup. Nice, easy 2 points first for Jin Yong.
Jin Young Kim finally able to find his rhythm, his confidence.
Jet. Conrad. What a drive, and Jet.
The missed drive here by Team Conrad as Jordan Jet able to get an offensive rebound. Illawarra Hawks as a team 11 offensive rebound.
Now Tim Conrad's being called on that one, the 199 guard, and that will send Egis to the line because they've accumulated more than the 5 team fouls. .14 points from Kyo Chang. His scoring again has been one of the few high spots for Egis. And that eventually drops. Daniel Gida. He's on the scoreboard as well. Resistance from Teague. Conrad, and look at the space and time for Cedric Jackson. Fast pass, but completely unguarded in the paint.
Yeah, Tepo was sleeping on that defensive assignment, leaving Cedric Jackson wide open underneath the basket.
The 3 is good from Tepong. He gets his scoring night underway belatedly. Final minute of the third, 78-44. It's a 34-point lead. Kyo Chang from out wide. Pozoglu nabs the rebound. 30 seconds to play. Jet looks for another spectacular assist. Grida. No basket, but there will be a foul, and Grida, I think, will go to the line for 2. Choi Seung-guk with the indiscretion.
Oh, a rare airball from the free throw by Grida. And then focus on the full court press by the Illawarra Hawks. They're not going to stop pressuring the KCC Egis.
27-19, this third stanza. All three quarters have been comfortably taken by the men in black. Nice little shimmy and fade, and the foul is drawn. That will be Grida penalised. His first personal foul, the 195 guard. Two shots from the line for Seung Guk, who converts the first. 11 of 12 so far from the foul line. Make that 11 of 13, but the rebound snapped. And then excellent work from Pozoğlu to make sure there wasn't 2 points, but it's another convincing period for Illawarra Hawks. They lead by 79-45. It's a gap of 34 points, Mislam.
Yeah, much better quarter by the KCC Egis, but then Illawarra Hawks has been consistent throughout the whole game. As you can see here, an easy point by Ahmed. Now, once again showing that there's no defense there. Brandon Brown was too late for that rotation defensive assignment. A good sign for the KCC Egis. Their best player so far, Song Kyu Chang, able to knock that three-point shot. However, he is in personal foul trouble with 4 personal fouls.
The outside shooting though from Blanchfield for 3. We went through a purple patch where threes were just raining in from all quarters. The Aussies, every time they conceded 3, would put 3 in. Grida, he got on the scoreboard as well. This is a little bit of magic from T, getting it onto the outside, and a spin and a turn. It's gone a little bit flat, in all honesty, because such has been the dominance of Illawarra. And Brian Conklin, he's on a double-double, 11 rebounds, 10 points. Grida's able to go through the defence at will as well. It's been a sorry afternoon for KCC Egis after an otherwise very impressive tournament.
Brandon Brown with 15 points, Song Kyu Chang with 14. Marquis Tick with 3 assists, Brandon Brown with 2 assists. Kim Jong-yong with 1 assist. So that's the story of the KCC Egis. They try to fight, they try to give a good game, but then Illawarra Hawks is just way too good for this team. Illawarra Hawks, they have, I think, 3 players playing for the Australian national team, a few former NBA players, 2 American, Jordan Jett and Brian Conklin. The level, for your information, Australia is the FIBA Asia champion in 2017, whereas Korea is the 3rd place last year. There's a few national players, the Korean national player for KCC Egis, but then Illawarra Hawks, too much firepower.
Final stanza, final 10 minutes. Jackson. Just dispossessed by Teague. The inbound will be for the Hawks. There's the period scores, 24-10, 28-13, 27-22. So even though it was an improved quarter for Egis, they were still outscored. Jet. Defeated by 3 attacks, and look at the work of Tim Conrad. Clever from Grida, outside from Pozoğlu. Another air ball from Pozoğlu. He hasn't got his range right, but put straight back in from Cedric Jackson.
Yeah, just when you thought KCC Egis has been playing good, and then Illawarra Hawks come back straight.
Teague from outside, right on the buzzer. Possession re-won by Egis. Over his shoulder, but doesn't quite work. Nothing's really quite worked for them today. Grida, Conrad. Chance just to get some floor time for Illawarra ahead of their NBL season. big three from Grida from outside. The full court press is on.
There's a 7 3-pointer made by the Illawarra Hawks as a team. Grida first 3-pointer for the game.
Conrad defends well. Fadeaway jumper, that's good from Ko Chang, as you say, the best of the Korean players. Takes them on to 16 points, leading all scorers for the Koreans. Leading all scorers in the game, bizarrely. Cedric Jackson, round the corner, air ball again. 3 air balls this quarter. T goes all the way, lifts it up and draws the foul. In the act of shooting, I think David Grida is the guilty party.
Marcus Fick, more of a playmaker than a scoring point guard. Struggling with his shot right now. Only able to get 6 points, 2 field goals, and 2 free throws.
Second foul against Grida, who steps out, as there's Jodair Jet. And a timeout has been called by KCC Korea Egis. I suppose for the Korean side, they've got to look back on this tournament as a whole and what they're taking away from it. Teams routinely use this tournament as a build-up for their own regular seasons. What will KCC Egis take away from today, from this whole tournament? Not today, which is a blowout, but from the tournament as a whole.
They need to have to focus and be more confident, especially the locals player. I like some of the locals players, they play, some of them are smart, but then when you're struggling, especially with your shooting outside, not falling, they need to find ways to score. In the semi-final game, they're able to find that they penetrate, they attack the basket, but then in this game, it's very hard. Your opponent is just too good to you. It's totally on a different level.
They have been all week. Going around the outside was Pozoglu. He's not been able to buy a point since he came on, Nick Pozoglu. Outside shot is Hugh Hyun-jun. Doesn't succeed, and again aggression that time from Blanchfield. Cedric Jackson leaves the ball away. Blanchfield follows up his own rebound. Pozoglu, good feet. Conrad from outside. Pozoglu picks up the second ball. And eventually, fifth time of asking, Pozoglu gets his first points.
Pozoglu able to get a few minutes and instantly contribute for the Illawarra Hawks.
Teague. Bounce pass doesn't work. Conrad's first to react. And there's always an outlet pass on for Illawarra. Nelson outside for 3. Air ball again. Conrad picks up the second ball. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Fadeaway jumper, beautifully done by Tim Conrad.
Oh, there's nothing can stop that. Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway jumper, 2-pointer. Conrad master it perfectly.
Outside 3 is good from Hyun-jun, who's just come onto the floor. 1 for 2 shooting from outside. Bounce pass, Jackson. Mansfield couldn't handle the ball. Jackson can. 0 for 3 in his attempts. Possession will go to the Egis. 5:49 remaining, 88-51.
A rare mistake by Jackson. Third time, not the charm. So I think both teams are actually just pretty relaxed here, although Illawarra Hawks still continue with a full court press.
It's comparative relaxation, isn't it? That's come off a foot. Conrad. Clock will go back on to 14, I believe.
Yeah, the intensity is toned down a little bit because the players are actually from the bench player for both teams. Still, there are a lot of basketball to be played with 5 minutes.
Mingu off the boards, but not into the net. Nelson drives, looks outside. Conrad for 3. Nelson out of bounds.
So a much better job for the KCC Egis on the transition defense. Those are one of the factors, if you ask me personally, that they need to improve throughout this whole tournament. Their transition defense was a little bit slow and late getting back in the defense. Not this time.
Hyunjun running the plays. Conrad with the block. Pozoglu with the defensive play. 3-on-2 break. Conrad outside to Kevin White. Blanchfield for 3. Turnover number 21. And Nelson, an easy layup on the fast break. Every Australian player now has some points to his name. Seongguk. In and out, Nelson with the steal. Mini target for Australia, 3 figures. It always looks a little bit better if you score 100. 4-10 to get those 10 points. For KCC Egis, it's a problem because Ha Seung-jin, their 7-foot centre, out injured. Brandon Brown ejected from the game. Nice turn and spin from Kim Min-gu for 2. And he'll go to the line for an extra point.
Kim Min-gu able to find a space. Nice spin move here. And then that reach in from Team Conrad, unnecessary. But I think he wants to stop the game. He goes to the bench right now as we have all bench players on the floor from both teams. Kim Min-gu with his first 2 points and another extra free throws for him.
Which is good. 54 plays 90. 3 fouls for Tim Conrad, who stepped out. Replacement on the floor. Oh, they worked that one really nicely. Oh, Cameron felt the full brunt of Seongguk, but a good 2 points from Seongguk. And the good news is the cameraman's okay as well. Pozoglu goes around the outside and puts his own layup back in. It'll be a 2 points coming from 23 Kim Min-gu, who's helped himself to 5 points in this 4th stanza. Nah finds Nelson, fadeaway jumper for 2 for Nelson. 94 plays 58, and a timeout has been called once again by the Egis. And this is their last possibility for a timeout. Job done for Illawarra. They've been brilliant all week.
Illawarra Hawks has been showing such good basketball being played on both ends. That's a rare form of basketball where the whole team and players commit on both ends and as a team.
Teague with 3 assists, Brandon Brown with 2. The lack of assists shows you the lack of offense that they've had. Rebounds. Well, you mentioned the 2 players. Brown ejected already. Chonko Chang is the one really bright spot. Ha already out injured. In terms of turnovers, it's total of 21 turnovers. Scoring, Conrad 13, Anderson 11, Ogilvie 10, but all 12 players have contributed from these scoring. Assists, Emmett Nar with 5, Jet with 4 and Jackson with 3. It's been good team play. Rebounds, Conklin with a double-double. He's got 11 rebounds to add to his 10 points. And back in for the final 2:36 of the 2018 Seri Mutiara Cup, the 4th edition of this tournament. Beijing and Guangzhou are previous winners, new winners guaranteed, and it very much looks like, unless something I've never seen before happens, Illawarra from Australia are adding their name onto the Roll of Honour. Three is good. Yu Hyun-jun's second triple.
Where was Yu Hyun-jun when Korea needed him the most, as only able to score towards the end of the game?
To be fair, he's only been on the floor at the end of the game. They haven't trusted him until now. Scratch of the head, I think, is sums up the whole day for Korea. KCC Egis. Inbound will go to Illawarra. Final 2 minutes of this tournament. Nelson steps inside, steps outside. Already out of bounds, no foul. You like to see close games, particularly in finals, but you've also got to admire the work ethic of the Illawarra Hawks to blow this one out of the game. 52-23 at the half. By then it was already over, Islam.
Yeah, definitely. We know that they have been preparing for the 8th NBL season, and it shows here in this tournament where they are very consistent, very focused on their defense and also their offense. They know where the teammate is. They play a very good high and low basketball on that paint, and also whenever the defense collapses to prevent the inside attempt, they're going to kick out to the shooters from the outside. So Illawarra has been playing a very tremendous basketball and throughout the whole aspect of the game.
Two for two for Choi Seung-gok, who's 3 for 4 overall. It's been a good event all round. The Texas All-Star cheerleaders have been busy. Crowd have enjoyed it. The local entertainment has been good as Nelson hits the rim. The competition's been excellent. NS Matrix disappointed not to make it into the Final 4. Outside, another three-pointer is buried by Hyun-jun. Where was he indeed? Do hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the competition as Postoglu goes through for 2. .49 seconds, Illawarra 4 shy of the ton. Possession with Egis. Another turnover. Grida spins, turns and misses. That rather upset what was meant to happen. 2-on-1 break coming the other way. And the layup and the putback both missed. Final 20 seconds, outside shot is good by Kim Min-gu, 3 for him.
Much better basketball being played right now. This is the part of basketball has been missing throughout the whole game, as Illawarra Hawks just going to dribble the ball out of the shot clock, and now with the basketball smiling as they take the champion Illawarra Hawks 96 to Korea KCC Egis with 69.
Very impressive, Illawarra. They came here with the mission. In the groups, they were absolutely dominant. One close game. But when it came down to the semi-finals, the final, they were really, really focused. And they'll prepare for the new NBL season on the back of a pre-season tournament victory. In the bigger scheme of things, it's not huge, but in terms of confidence and building of players, it is very good. For the Egis, well, they'll look back on a bad day at the office. They'll hope that the injury for Hyung Jin isn't as bad as we first feared. Brandon Brown will just have to get his boxing gloves back on again. Here are the highlights, predominantly in the third and fourth quarters. And it was a case for the lesser-known players, the likes of Daniel Grida and Marshall Nelson, to come in with chances for the Aussies. And for Egis, the likes of Hyun Jin, and the two there from number 2, Kyo Chang.
Song Kyo Chang with 60 points, the most top scorer for KCC Egis, and also top scorer throughout the game, as Illawarra Hawks has been getting contribution throughout the whole players. All Illawarra Hawks players scored, and the top scorer for Illawarra Hawks, Conrad, with 13 points. Here you see another missed shot actually by Song Kyo Chang, and not many free throws actually Illawarra Hawks got. This is nice pullback by Brian Kong Lin, as he able to score a total of 10 points.
They had players, the Aussies, as we see the fight here. Boxing stance from Anderson. This got Brandon Brown, number 15 for the Whites, thrown out, and Anderson ejected from the game. It was a rare bite spark, but Brown was just so frustrated with his lack of ability to really compete with the power of the Aussies.
Yeah, definitely. He committed 6 turnovers. That's the part where he frustrated the most, because the Illawarra Hawks defense has been forcing him to make just unforced error, silly mistakes, double dribble. Rarely he does that kind of mistake. But in this game, even though he's able to get a lot of points, still the turnovers is not a very good game for Brandon Brown overall.
In the latter stages, there were points galore for the bench. 3 there for Kim Min-gu, who ended up with 8 points overall. Hyun Jin contributed 9 points in all, 3 3-pointers. But by the fourth quarter, this was all done and dusted, and it was the bench players, Pozoglu and Kevin White and the likes of Emmett Nair, who are getting more court time. There's one of the 3 from Hyun Jin. Gave us a little bit of respectability in the overall score, but in the end it is a comprehensive, a walloping 96-69 at the end for the victors of the Seri Mutiara Cup, Illawarra Hawks. Three from the outside as the shooting improved, but even in that final stanza, when they got 24 points, their best return, they were beaten by 27-24. Stats.
Look at that, the turnover, 22 turnover for KCC Egis and only 11 for Illawarra Hawks. The 2-pointers, 64 attempts for Illawarra Hawks compared to only 36. And then the rebounds, 51 rebounds compared to 39. So Illawarra Hawks has been dominating, another 14 steals to 3. So it's such a loop-sided game in this final of the Seri Mutiara Cup 2018.
Top scorers for Egis. Kyo Chang individually fine, 16 points. Brown can look back and say they're not bad stats. I've got a double-double. On the opposition though, Conrad, Anderson and Ogilvy, they top score, but everybody, all 12 players contributed 4 points. Assist-wise, Nard dishes out 5, Jet 4, Cedric Jackson 3. There was a togetherness about Illawarra that just didn't exist for the Egis. Brown, double-double. Conklin, a double-double.
Nothing much can be said in this game, as we've been talking about it. The turnovers here, Brandon Brown with 6 turnovers. And then look at Illawarra Hawks, only 2 turnover maximum for each player. So a different one-sided game throughout the whole game, except in the first few minutes where KCC Egis give us some hope of a very tough fighting game with an 8-0 run. But then after that, when Illawarra Hawks able to get a 15-0 run, is downhill from there.
Here's today's results in the bronze medal match. The Texas All-Stars, well, they just battered Partizan, who had done really well to make it to the semi-finals themselves. Egis, they were outlasted, outbullied by Illawarra Hawks. It's Illawarra Hawks from Australia who are the champions. And please stand by, because we will be coming back for the finals presentation, this 4th Mutiara Cup. So the crowd has dwindled away. The Aussies will enjoy this moment, though. It's always nice to pick up a trophy. It tells your opponents as you go into your first NBL games, hey, this team, they're working hard. They know how to win games.
Yeah, it's a totally different lineup for this Illawarra Hawks compared to a previous season. So it's nice for them to have this pre-season. It's considered pre-season for them in preparing for the new NBL season, as I'm sure they're probably going to give a very good fight, and we're hoping that to be successful in the new season of the NBL for Illawarra Hawks.
And for the Seri Mutiara Cup, we hope that they got enough out of it that they'll want to come back, because to see this standard of basketball being played in Malaysia, it's only encouraging for the likes of NS Matrix to realize, heck, we've really got to step up if we want to achieve this kind of level.
Australia basketball has been very, very good lately. And not only the basketball aspect, the sports science also is actually at the world level, as a few NBA teams is already hiring people, the sports science people from the Australia basketball sports institution. And Australia basketball also able to produce a few NBA players. So they are definitely need to be watched out, or such an force to be reckoned with, the Australia basketball team.
We're nearly ready for the presentation. The trophies are there for the MVPs and the top scorers and the overall award.
As we see here, the Illawarra Hawks players on the court doing some warm down, just relaxing, chilling. This has been a very lot of basketball being played here. I think 5 games in 6 days. So that's a lot of basketball. Much a needed recovery for the Illawarra Hawks, as from what I've heard, their season is going to start next Friday for the NBL, National Basketball League Australia.
ABL also about to tip off. We had a couple of teams, Macau Black Bears, who will be playing in the ABL, as well as the Eastern Long Lions, a little bit further away. So for them, it was a case of just getting some court time in their legs. So in many ways, this isn't a real test of teams at the same level of preparation. Listen, we're still just waiting for the trophies to be made ready. We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the trophy presentation for the 2018 Seri Mutiara Cup. Very warm welcome back to the MABA Basketball Arena in the heart of Kuala Lumpur. This is the medal ceremony for the 4th Seri Mutiara Cup. This is the 3rd place team, the Texas All-Stars, just picking up their medals from Dato Yit Lee Kok, the Executive Director of MBL Asia. They beat Partizan in the bronze medal match earlier on this afternoon, having lost in the semi-finals yesterday and coming runners-up in their group. So for the Josh Newkirk, Xavier Johnson, Devin Sibley, Anton Mason, Keith Downing, Quentin Peterson Jr., John Bohannon, Zach Price, Steve Ogochukwu and Tyrell Tate. It's reward for a hard 4 days work, or sorry, hard 6 days work with 5 games played. Keith Downing picking up his medal. So 2nd place in the group with 2 wins and a swap of chains. I'm not sure he's getting that one back, you know. Dato Yit Lee Kok enjoying the moment, the Executive Director of the MBL Asia. And the trophy being accepted by John Bohannon, Texas All-Stars, 3rd place in the Mutiara Cup. Bohannon, firm handle on that trophy. 3rd place for them. 2nd place will be handed out by Dato Lee Yun Fang, the Secretary General of the Malaysian Basketball Association. A glum-looking Marcus Teague sees Dato Lee Yonfeng make his way out onto the floor.
All right, and the 2nd place winner this year is from Korea, KCC Egis.
Runners-up in their group. Sorry, champions of their group. KCC Egis, 2 wins and 1 defeat in the group matches. Good victory yesterday against Partizan in the semi-finals. Big Brandon Brown ejected in the final after a very frustrated time. You can see he's got a split lip as well for his efforts this week. Coaching staff at the edge. Not quite enough room for everybody. And for the Egis, a squad of Song Kyo Chang, who had a fine performance. The coaching team. And then on to the players, Song Kyo Chang, who top scored in the final. That's Chon Tae-pong, the Korean-American point guard. Going down the line, Lee Jung-hyun, Kim Guk-chan, Choi Seung-guk, Song Chang-young. We didn't see much court time. We saw Brandon Brown pick up his medal. Yu Hyun-jin, who came on to good effect in the final quarter of the final. 9 points for him. Chung Hae-ji didn't see any court time. Kim Min-gu, Sim Yong-ho. And working the way down the line, we'll work our way to Marcus Teague, who could never really get himself involved in the final. It was taken away by Illawarra Hawks with an impressive, powerful performance. Notable not on the podium is the giant figure of the injured Sung Jin-ha. So second place for KCC Egis. Hope we can see them back. They'll be hoping to improve on that next time they come. Certainly improve on their performance in the final next time. But congratulations on making it all the way to the final match. Dato Chai Kim Seng, Executive Director of Seri Mutiara Development, the sponsors of this tournament. They were the outstanding team throughout the tournament. 2 wins back-to-back ensured their place in the semi-finals. They were beaten in their 3rd game, but that was one where they just down their intensity a little bit. We saw it in the medal matches, the real intensity shown by Illawarra. They blew away both Partizan and Egis in the semi-final and final. Dato Yit Lee Kok, the Executive Director of the NBL Asia, accompanying Dato Chai Kim Seng, the Executive Director of Seri Mutiara Development. Going down the line, the coaching staff pick up their deserved rewards. They select the players, they rotate the players, they work out the tactics. Yes, the players have to execute, but of course, the coaching staff are the brains behind it all. Going down the line, Ogilvy, the American Brian Conklin. Anderson, who was thrown out, receives his medal. Just next to him, the bandaged up Jodair Jet, the other American. Impressive Todd Blanchfield, Cedric Jackson. And then some of the players who came on in the 3rd and 4th quarters, really just to make sure the game was won. Emmett Knott, Daniel Grida, Kevin White, number 3, and at the very end, Nick Pozoglu, the number 0. All smiles. Seri Mutiara Development, I'm sure, will be pretty happy with another internationally recognised tournament. This is the 4th edition of the tournament. Illawarra Hawks, champions of the 2018 Seri Mutiara Cup. I do hope you've enjoyed our coverage over the 5 days we've been on air, from the commentators in both Malay and English, from the hard-working camera crew and team behind the scenes. It's been our pleasure to bring you the Seri Mutiara Cup. We'll see you next year.